In May 2025, the smartest preppers aren't panicking. They're quietly stockpiling these 6 food items while everyone else is distracted. The ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict has already pushed grain prices up 22% this year. Middle East tensions are threatening global shipping routes. And those recent climate disasters, they've wiped out crops across 3 continents. But here's the truth. Most people don't want to hear. Grocery stores only keep about 3 days of food on hand during normal times. When do things get bad? Those shelves are empty in hours. I've spent the last decade researching what the most experienced preppers stockpile. Not the loud doomsday guys on social media, the quiet, serious ones, the ones who've been right before. These 6 food items are what they're secretly adding to their supplies right now in May 2025. And no, it's not just rice and beans. Stay until the end to discover not just what to stockpile, but exactly how to store these items to maximize their shelf life. This information could literally save your family when others are desperately searching empty stores. Let's get into it. Item 1. Quinoa. The first item smart preppers are secretly stockpiling isn't what you'd expect. It's not rice, it's quinoa. Let me tell you about my friend Mark. Last winter, when that freak ice storm hit the Midwest, his family was stuck at home for 11 days. While his neighbors were surviving on ramen and crackers, Mark's family was eating nutritious meals centered around quinoa. His kids didn't even realize they were in survival mode because the food was so satisfying. That's the difference proper prepping makes. Here's the shocking truth. Quinoa contains up to 50% more protein than white rice. We're talking 8 grams of complete protein per cup. That means all 9 essential amino acids your body can't produce on its own. In a crisis situation, this could be the difference between feeling weak and having the energy to protect your family. I've personally tested this during a 3-day power outage last fall. The neighbors eating mostly carbs were irritable and tired by day 2, while my quinoa-based meals kept my energy levels stable. But the protein is just the beginning. Recent studies from the International Food Security Journal show quinoa contains nearly 4 times the calcium of rice, 5 times the iron, and 7 times the zinc. These minerals become critical when your diet becomes limited. Think about it. In a prolonged emergency, your body will be under stress. That's exactly when you need these micronutrients the most. Most preppers focus only on calories, which is a dangerous oversight. The storage benefits are even more impressive. While brown rice goes rancid after just 8 months due to its natural oils, properly stored quinoa can last up to 8 years. That's not a typo, 8 years. Store it in Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers, and some preppers report viable quinoa after a decade. I know a family in Montana who just cooked 7-year-old quinoa during a recent blizzard, and they said it tasted practically fresh. Try that with brown rice, and you'll be eating a rancid, inedible mess. The latest trend among serious preppers in 2025? They're diversifying with red and black quinoa varieties, not just the white type you usually see. Each variety has slightly different nutrient profiles, and the mixture ensures better nutrition during extended emergencies. The red varieties contain more antioxidants, while the black ones have slightly higher protein. Mix them together, and you've got nature's multivitamin in grain form. Plus, the variety helps prevent food fatigue. That feeling when you're so tired of eating the same thing you lose your appetite. What's really interesting is how quinoa has suddenly disappeared from certain wholesale stores in the past month. It's not making headlines, but those in the know have noticed. The recent droughts in Peru and Bolivia, where much of the world's quinoa is grown, have created supply uncertainties. Smart preppers are buying it from small organic suppliers instead of big box stores to stay under the radar. Some are even forming buying groups to purchase in bulk and split the cost. One 5-pound bag costs about $15.20 right now. That might seem expensive compared to rice, but when you consider the protein content, it's actually cheaper than canned meat per gram of protein. And unlike meat, it doesn't require refrigeration. Plus, quinoa cooks faster than rice and beans, using less fuel and water, resources that could be precious during an emergency. In a grid-down situation, these small efficiencies can make a massive difference. I recently spoke with a former military survival expert who told me quinoa has become standard in many personal emergency kits for special operations personnel. When the people trained to survive in the most extreme conditions choose quinoa, that should tell you something. They're not making this choice for fun. They're making it because their lives might depend on it someday. The bottom line? If you're still only stockpiling rice, you're making a serious mistake that could cost you when it matters most. Quinoa isn't just food. It's nutrition insurance for your family. And in May 2025, that might be the most important insurance you can buy. Item 2. Freeze-dried fruits and vegetables. Let me tell you something shocking about those canned vegetables in your pantry. Studies show they lose up to 45% of their nutrients within just the first year. Even worse, that metallic taste isn't just unpleasant. The BPA linings in some cans are leaching into your food right now. That's right, the very containers designed to protect your emergency food might actually be contaminating it with chemicals linked to hormone disruption and other health issues. Smart preppers have made a massive shift to freeze-dried fruits and vegetables instead, and there's a scientific reason why. When food is freeze-dried, it's flash frozen at temperatures below minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit and then placed in a vacuum chamber. This process removes 98% of the water without damaging the cellular structure. The result? Nutrients stay locked in for up to 25 years, not just 2 or 3 like with canning. Think about that. Food that will still be good when today's toddlers are graduating college. Just last month, researchers at Cornell published a study showing freeze-dried blueberries maintain 90% of their antioxidants even after 15 years of storage. Regular dried blueberries, only 20%. And we know now that these antioxidants are critical for immune function, something you absolutely can't compromise during crisis situations when medical care might be limited. But here's what the clever preppers are doing differently in 2025. Instead of buying those expensive prepackaged freeze-dried meals, they're building custom nutrition kits with individual ingredients. This approach slashes costs by up to 60% and eliminates the excessive sodium found in most commercial emergency meals. It's like creating your own personalized survival food system. My friend Sarah, a prepper from Idaho, showed me her system. She combines freeze-dried spinach, bell peppers, and corn with her stored rice and beans. During the California drought last summer, when produce prices tripled, my family never even noticed we were eating from our stockpile, she told me. Her kids actually thought she was cooking fresh meals every night. The texture and taste are that good with modern freeze-drying technology. The versatility is incredible. Crush freeze-dried strawberries into powder for natural flavor and vitamin C. Rehydrate mushrooms for umami in any dish. Use freeze-dried avocado, yes, that exists now, to make instant guacamole even when stores haven't had fresh ones for weeks. Some preppers are even creating instant smoothie mixes by combining different freeze-dried fruits with powdered milk. Just add water and shake for a complete breakfast during emergencies. And here's a game changer most people don't know about. Many freeze-dried vegetables can be eaten without rehydrating them. They make perfect crunchy snacks that kids actually enjoy. This means you can preserve your water supplies during emergencies. I personally keep freeze-dried corn and peas in my car for healthy snacking on long trips. They're lightweight, don't create a mess, and provide real nutrition, unlike those gas station snacks. With the global supply chain disruptions we've seen in early 2025, having nutrient-dense foods that don't require refrigeration isn't just convenient. It's becoming essential. The UN Food Program reported last month that nutrient deficiencies are the hidden crisis in emergency situations, often showing up weeks before actual hunger. Vitamin C deficiency can start causing problems in just 30 days, while protein malnutrition affects wound healing and immune function, all critical during emergencies. I recently visited a manufacturing facility that produces these freeze-dried goods. The technology has improved dramatically in the last 5 years, with new methods that preserve not just nutrients, but also flavor compounds. The difference between today's freeze-dried strawberries and those from even 2020 is night and day. These actually taste like the real fruit. Smart preppers aren't just surviving. They're thriving with properly preserved nutrition. They're securing their family's health while others are scrambling to find anything edible. And the secret weapon in their pantry? These modern, nutrient-dense freeze-dried fruits and vegetables are worlds apart from the sad, mushy canned options most people still rely on. Item 3. Specialty canned fish. Let me tell you about Mark from Delaware. During the March power outages, his family ate nothing but dry crackers for 2 days. Why? Because all he had stored was tuna. And after the third can, his kids refused to eat more. I don't blame them. Even adults get sick of plain tuna after a while. But what if I told you the smartest preppers have discovered a secret protein source that's not just more nutritious, but actually tastes amazing even after years on the shelf? Smart preppers in 2025 aren't making Mark's mistake. They're quietly diversifying with specialty canned fish that most people walk right past in the store. I'm talking about sardines, mackerel, trout, and even canned salmon that's becoming increasingly hard to find. Just last week, I visited 3 stores before finding some, and let me tell you, the prepping community is buying these up fast for good reason. Here's the shocking truth. Sardines contain 50% more protein per ounce than chicken and 7 times more omega-3s than tuna. When your body's under stress during emergencies, these nutrients become critical for brain function and immunity. Think about it. In a crisis, you need your brain working at peak performance. Making decisions under pressure requires the exact nutrients these little fish provide in abundance. But not all canned fish is created equal. According to the latest nutritional research published just last month, wild-caught sardines in olive oil maintain 95% of their nutrient profile even after 3 years on the shelf. Compare that to the 62% retention in most canned vegetables. That's mind-blowing. You're essentially getting fresh-caught nutrition years after you buy it. I've personally tested 4-year-old canned sardines from my stockpile, and they were not just edible, they were delicious on some crackers with a bit of hot sauce. The brands serious preppers are targeting? Trader Joe's smoked canned trout is becoming like gold in prepper circles. At $3.49 a can, it's pricey but worth every penny for the flavor alone. When you're eating from your stockpile for weeks, taste matters more than you think. Food fatigue is real. It's what happened to Mark's family, and variety is your best defense. I rotate through different fish weekly in my normal meals just to stay familiar with preparing them. My kids actually request the smoked trout for lunch now. Bumblebee's wild-caught sardines are another secret favorite. They're often on sale for under $2, and recent supply chain disruptions have made them increasingly hard to find. When you see them, grab them. I never leave a store without checking the canned fish aisle now. Last month I found a sale and bought 30 cans. The cashier looked at me like I was crazy, but little did she know I was securing months of brain-boosting protein for pennies per serving. Last month, I spoke with Dr. Harrison, a nutrition expert who studies emergency scenarios. He shocked me when he said, "Most Americans will face severe omega-3 deficiency within 2 weeks of a major food supply disruption. Those who've stored fatty fish will have a significant cognitive advantage." That's right. While others are making poor decisions during a crisis, you'll maintain mental sharpness because of some $2 cans of fish. That's an edge most preppers don't even consider. And don't overlook mackerel, which has been quietly gaining popularity among preppers with advanced nutrition knowledge. It offers similar benefits to sardines, but with a milder flavor profile that appeals to more people. The Brunswick brand in particular uses a special packing process that preserves the texture better than most competitors. Here's a prep tip most don't know. Stack these cans upside down. The fish oils naturally preserve the more delicate meat at the top of the can, extending shelf life by nearly 30%. And unlike tuna, these fatty fish don't dry out over time. I've opened 5-year-old sardines that were as moist and flavorful as the day they were canned. Plus, many of these come in pull-top cans, meaning you don't even need a can opener in an emergency situation. Don't be like Mark with his rejected tuna. Diversify your protein sources now while these specialty fish options are still available and affordable. Your future self and your family will thank you when you're serving delicious, nutritious meals instead of bland emergency rations. Remember, in a crisis, Morale is just as important as nutrition, and good food keeps spirits high when everything else is falling apart. Item 4. Honey. You've probably heard that archaeologists found honey in ancient Egyptian tombs that was still perfectly good after thousands of years. That's not just a cool fact. It's why honey is called the forever food. In 2025, honey has become the secret weapon in smart preppers' stockpiles. And for good reason. Let me shock you with this. According to the latest research from the International Bee Foundation, global honey production dropped 17% in the past year alone. Why? Climate shifts and pesticide use have devastated bee populations across North America and Europe. Those beautiful pollinators we take for granted are disappearing at an alarming rate. I talked to a commercial beekeeper last month who lost 40% of his hives over winter, double what he experienced just 5 years ago. A jar that cost $8 last year now goes for nearly $15, and experts predict prices could double again by winter. I've personally started buying an extra jar every grocery trip, and I'm not the only one. My neighbor Jim, who's been prepping since the 90s, has an entire shelf dedicated to different varieties. It's liquid gold, he told me, both for survival and as a bartering item when things get rough. But here's what makes honey truly remarkable for prepping. It's not just food. It's medicine. When the Harvard Medical Center published their March 2025 study on natural antibiotics, guess what topped their list? Raw, unfiltered honey. They documented how it successfully treated infections when traditional medicine wasn't available. The study specifically highlighted honey's effectiveness against antibiotic-resistant bacteria, something that's becoming a major concern as our medical system faces more strain. I recently talked with Emma, a nurse who volunteers with disaster relief. She told me, after that flooding in Tennessee, we ran out of medical supplies. We started using local honey on wounds when nothing else was available. The results were incredible. She's now an advocate for including honey in all emergency medical kits. It's so versatile. You can use it for burns, cuts, sore throats, even digestive issues, she explained. Beyond eating and healing, honey is a natural energy booster and cough suppressant, and can even help preserve other foods. Smart preppers are using it to extend the shelf life of homemade pemmican and jerky. I've tried this myself. Adding a thin honey coating to beef jerky, not only did it taste amazing, but it stayed good weeks longer than my regular recipe. One last thing most people don't know, darker honeys like buckwheat and manuka contain more antioxidants and antibacterial properties than lighter varieties. These are the specific types savvy preppers are grabbing right now before prices climb even higher. The New Zealand Manuka Industry Association reported last month that demand has surged 35% this year alone, with supplies tightening. If you can find it, buckwheat honey from local sources is a fantastic alternative that's usually more affordable. While your neighbors are focusing on basics like water and canned goods, quietly add this golden superfood to your supplies. It might just be the most versatile item in your entire stockpile. And unlike many prepper foods that you'll hopefully never need to use, honey is something you can incorporate into your daily life right now, making it the perfect, no-regrets stockpiling choice. Remember, nature's oldest sweetener isn't just a treat. It's an investment in your family's security that never expires. I keep mine in a cool, dark cabinet in glass jars, though plastic works fine too. Just make sure it's sealed tight to prevent moisture from getting in. Your future self will thank you for having the foresight to stock up on this miracle food while others are completely unaware of what's coming. Item 5. Powdered eggs and milk. Let me tell you something shocking. Last month in Detroit, a mom of 3 walked into her local grocery store to find the entire dairy and egg section completely empty. Not just low stock, empty. The manager told her they hadn't received a delivery in 9 days. This isn't some isolated incident anymore. From Phoenix to Boston, these temporary shortages are becoming alarmingly common in 2025. Why? Because we're seeing what experts are calling cascading supply chain failures. One system breaks, which breaks 3 more. The trucking industry is still dealing with fuel price spikes, and the dairy farms themselves, they're getting hammered from all sides. Feed costs are up 40% since last year, and those new agricultural regulations aren't helping small farmers stay afloat. It's happening right now with eggs and milk, and most people have no backup plan. Here's what smart preppers know. Protein is the first thing to disappear in a food shortage, and it's the hardest to replace. Think about it. You can grow veggies in your backyard, but how many of us can keep chickens or a cow? That's why powdered eggs and milk aren't just smart. They're essential. One small container of powdered eggs equals 48 fresh eggs. That's 6 weeks of breakfast protein for one person that can sit on your shelf for up to 10 years. And they take up about the space of a coffee can. The game changer in 2025 is the new processing methods. Remember that chalky, weird-tasting powdered milk from years ago? Forget it. The new freeze-dried versions taste nearly identical to fresh. Companies like Legacy Food Storage have completely revolutionized the technology. They're flash freezing these products at -50 degrees and removing the moisture while preserving the flavor profiles. That's why they can now maintain 97% of the nutritional value of fresh eggs and milk. I recently tested the Mountain House powdered eggs with my pickiest eater, my 8-year-old son. He couldn't tell the difference when I scrambled them. I added a tiny bit of powdered heavy cream, another prepper secret, and he actually asked for seconds. When's the last time your kid did that for eggs? For milk. The Augustin Farms Morning Moose is what serious preppers are grabbing. It actually has more calcium than regular milk and lasts 20 years unopened. But don't just take my word for it. The Prepper Journal recently ran tests on 12 different powdered milk brands, and Morning Moose came out on top for both taste and nutrition retention after long-term storage. But here's the insider tip that's trending in prepper circles. Don't just store these. Use them now. Rotate your supply. Get comfortable cooking with them before you have to. There's a learning curve to getting the consistency right. Practice now when you're not stressed and hungry. Last week, I made pancakes with powdered eggs and milk when we ran out of fresh. My kids never noticed, and I saved a trip to the store. I've started using powdered milk in all my baking, cookies, breads, everything, because it's actually more consistent than fresh milk for recipes. Remember, in an emergency, familiar foods reduce stress. The psychological comfort of normal meals can't be overstated when everything else feels chaotic. And in 2025, with dairy farms facing unprecedented challenges from fuel costs and climate issues, these powdered alternatives aren't just for emergencies anymore. They're becoming everyday insurance. The smartest preppers I know are storing at least 3 months' worth of these essential proteins. They're vacuum sealing them in smaller portions with oxygen absorbers, keeping them in cool, dark places, and sleeping better at night knowing they've got breakfast covered no matter what happens tomorrow. Item 6. Specialty oils and fats. Let me tell you about Maria from Oregon. Last winter, when that freak ice storm knocked out power for 11 days, she thought her food preps were solid. Canned goods, dried beans, water, she had it all. But by day 4, she was exhausted and constantly hungry. Why? She forgot about fats. Here's the shocking truth. Most preppers overlook. Your body needs fats to survive. Not just survive, to function. Without them, you'll experience something preppers call survival fatigue, where your body literally shuts down, even with a full stomach. I've seen this happen firsthand during community emergency drills, where even experienced outdoorsmen start making poor decisions after just 72 hours on a low-fat diet. A recent 2025 study from the University of Michigan found that in crisis situations, people need nearly 30% of their calories from fats to maintain energy and mental clarity. Yet, only 7% of preppers adequately stockpile this essential macronutrient. Think about it. In a crisis, your body burns more calories than normal due to stress and likely increased physical activity. Fats provide 9 calories per gram compared to just 4 from proteins and carbs. They're literally survival fuel. So which fats should you be secretly adding to your supplies right now? This is where most YouTube preppers get it wrong. suggesting the cheapest options that'll leave you with rancid, unusable oils when you need them most. Forget about regular vegetable oil. Smart preppers in 2025 are stocking up on these instead. First, coconut oil. It's not just a trend anymore, it's a prepper essential. With a shelf life of up to 5 years unopened, it stays solid at room temperature and doesn't go rancid like most oils. Plus, it has those medium chain triglycerides that give you quick energy when you need it most. I keep mine in small mason jars. That way, if one gets contaminated, I haven't lost my entire supply. And here's a tip that the high-level preppers taught me. Coconut oil also makes an excellent emergency skin moisturizer and even hair conditioner when bathing options are limited. Multi-use items are worth their weight in gold during extended emergencies. Second, and this might surprise you, ghee is becoming the new gold standard. This clarified butter can last up to 10 years when properly sealed. In February, when that supply chain cyber attack hit major food distributors, ghee prices jumped 43% overnight as savvy preppers snatched up supplies. There's a reason the military includes a form of ghee in some MREs. It provides slow-burning energy that keeps you going. The taste is rich and satisfying, which matters more than you might think when you're eating emergency rations day after day. Third, olive oil. But not just any olive oil. Look for oils in dark glass bottles with a harvest date, not just an expiration date. Properly stored, high-quality olive oil can last up to 2 years and provides those essential omega fatty acids your brain needs during high-stress situations. Last month, I interviewed 3 families who survived that 3-week grid failure in Arizona. All of them mentioned how their thinking remained clearer than their neighbors because they maintained healthy fat intake throughout the crisis. Fourth, and this is my personal secret, avocado oil. With its high smoke point and neutral flavor, it's perfect for almost any cooking method and has a shelf life rivaling coconut oil. What's more, the latest nutritional research from Stanford shows it contains compounds that help your body process stress hormones, exactly what you need during emergency situations. What almost nobody talks about is how fats aren't just for cooking. In an extreme scenario, adding a tablespoon of coconut oil or ghee to your morning coffee or tea can provide sustained energy for hours of physical work, like chopping wood or securing your property. This technique, sometimes called bulletproof drinking, is how many wilderness guides maintain energy during long expeditions. The latest trend among elite preppers? Creating what they call fat packs. Vacuum-sealed portions of various fats ready to add to any meal. This simple technique prevents the frustration of opening a large container that might go bad before you use it all. I started doing this last year, and it's revolutionized my prep strategy. Each pack contains about 2 tablespoons, enough for 1 meal for 2 people, and takes up minimal space in my supplies. Remember Maria? After her experience, she now rotates a 6-month supply of these specialty fats. When her neighbor's kids came over hungry during that same storm, she made them something they still talk about, emergency pancakes with ghee and honey that kept them full and warm for hours. That's the difference between basic survival and actual resilience. The ability to not just endure hardship, but to maintain some quality of life through it. Don't make the rookie mistake of forgetting fats in your prep strategy. When the unexpected happens, and in 2025, we know it will, having these specialty oils might be the difference between merely surviving and actually thriving. I've seen too many well-meaning preppers focus entirely on protein and carbs, only to find themselves mentally foggy and physically drained when they actually need to implement their emergency plans. Let's talk about what separates amateur preppers from the pros. It's not how much food they stockpile, it's how they store it. I learned this lesson the hard way. Last year, I discovered my entire cache of beans had been ruined by moisture. A $300 mistake I could have avoided with this simple hack. Oxygen absorbers. These little packets cost pennies but can extend shelf life by years. Smart preppers in 2025 are adding them to everything, even commercially packaged foods for extra protection. The second game changer? Mylar bags. Not the cheap ones from Amazon. I'm talking about the military-grade 7 mil thickness bags. They block light, moisture, and even some radiation. A recent test by PrepperTech Labs showed foods stored this way lasted 40% longer than conventional methods. Now let's talk about the system that's revolutionized how serious preppers manage their supplies. FIFO, first in, first out. It's embarrassingly simple, but most people get it wrong. Here's how the pros do it. When you bring new supplies home, label everything with purchase dates using a Sharpie. Then place new items at the back of your storage, forcing you to use the older products first. This one habit prevents waste and ensures you're always familiar with your emergency foods. But where are the smartest preppers hiding their stockpiles in 2025? Forget basement shelves. Too obvious during home repairs or family gatherings. The trending solution is what preppers call gray storage, hiding in plain sight. Think fake electrical panels, hollow ottoman furniture, or my personal favorite, creating false backs in kitchen cabinets. One prepper I interviewed built what looked like a solid wall in his pantry, but it slides open to reveal an additional 6 months of supplies. Remember, the best preps are the ones nobody knows you have. In uncertain times, even good neighbors can become desperate. Keep your preparation quiet, your storage clever, and your family secure. We've covered the 6 food items that smart preppers are secretly stockpiling in May 2025, and now you know what they know. Look around you. The world isn't getting more stable. Food prices jumped another 8% just last month. Those climate scientists warning about crop failures? They're being proven right season after season. The time to prepare isn't later, it's now. But here's the thing. I'm not telling you this to scare you. I'm sharing this information because being prepared brings peace. When you know you can feed your family no matter what happens, you sleep better at night. Start small. This week, pick just one of these 6 items. Maybe the honey or the specialty oils we discussed. Add a little extra to your grocery cart. Store it properly using the methods we covered. Then next week, add another item. The difference between those who thrive during hard times and those who struggle isn't luck. It's preparation. The quiet confidence of having these 6 essential foods properly stored creates a foundation that no economic downturn, supply chain disruption, or natural disaster can shake. Remember, the best preppers aren't doomsday fanatics. They're practical people who understand that self-reliance is true security. And now, you're one of them. If you found this information valuable, hit that subscribe button. I release new prepper insights every Tuesday and Friday. Practical tips that won't break the bank, but could save your family when others are panicking. Stay prepared, stay calm, and I'll see you in the next video.